After studying 200 years worth of literature relating to success, the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey, discovered 2 ways to self-improvement. The first is adjusting your behavior. Behavior is simply how one acts, especially towards others. Behavior can be changed almost instantly by making a decision to act in a particular way. The only problem with behavior is that it's temporary on its own. Now, the second way to self-improvement is something that lasts much longer than behavior and drives behavior itself. This is character. Character is your unique mental and moral qualities. You can define your character by answering the simple question, who are you? If you define yourself well, then you can answer that question without hesitation. To make your character consistent, you have to practice your character's deeds. For example, if you define yourself as a caring person, you have to require of yourself to list what you did during the week to help others. There are habits which are generally good for anyone's character. Let's explore 7 of them. The first principle is to be proactive and take control of your fate. Being proactive means external happenings don't affect your behavior. For example, this means you don't suddenly turn from happiness to anger because someone swore at you or insulted you, or suddenly stop investing your money just because one person discouraged it in a conversation. Focus on what you can control, like your character, rather than external happenings. Being proactive will strengthen your character, and defining yourself clearly will help you become more proactive. The second habit is to start with the end in mind. This is a global law and works in a variety of scenarios. Architects, for example, have to plan the entire building before a single brick is laid. Animators visualize the end scene before starting to draw. In chess, you think of the end game pawn structure and work towards it to win the game. The list goes on. I suggest the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek if you want to explore this habit in a bit more detail. The link should be in the description. The third habit is to put first things first. We have limited time on earth. This means you have to prioritize some tasks above others. There are 4 quadrants of priority you can use to prioritize tasks. In quadrant 1 are important and urgent tasks. If water in the basin is literally overflowing, you have to leave your laptop and resolve that particular issue first. In quadrant 2 are important tasks which are not urgent. An example of this can be sending out weekly work reports. In quadrant 3 are urgent tasks which are not important, like your relative asking you a question while you're working on a tight deadline. It requires an answer urgently, but is likely not as important. In quadrant 4 are tasks which are neither important nor urgent. These are just time wasters and should be avoided. To easily remember these quadrants, I label the first row as important and the first column as urgent. The most important of these quadrants, and the one you must focus on the most, is quadrant 2, which is focusing on important tasks which are not urgent. Another example of this is studying well before an exam rather than trying to cram everything in the last day. Focusing on these tasks helps reduce quadrant 1 tasks, which are both urgent and important, which lead to stress. The fourth habit is thinking win-win. Not every situation has to be a competition between you and the next person. Sometimes helping another person succeed will benefit you. Take this YouTube channel for example. It's a good win-win example. We read and study books, create summaries, convert the summaries into easy to follow videos for you. This gives you value because you increase in knowledge, sparkle your creativity, and helps you decide whether to buy a book or not. You're only asked to subscribe to the channel, which is free, so you get more value over time. This is a win-win scenario for both parties. You gain by subscribing, and it also helps the channel reach more people. You have something to gain by subscribing, and the channel gets to reach more people. The fifth habit is to seek first to understand, then to be understood. It's more valuable to listen to understand rather than listen to reply. People usually trust the person's advice if they believe they have been well understood. So it's important to listen attentively and to affirm that you have understood by summarizing what a person has said. Adding on to someone's conversation affirms that you have understood. It's also important to not listen to someone's words only, but to also listen to their body language and emotion, which can be seen in their eyes. It also helps a lot to get to know a person's character over time. Then you know their frame of reference in conversations. The sixth habit is to synergize by treating others with openness and respect. Synergy simply means the sum of the whole is more than the sum of the individual parts. This means two people can come together and form a third skill that they didn't have individually. For this to happen, all individuals should understand one another using the fifth habit. This formation of a new skill is called the power of the mastermind in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The seventh habit is to sharpen the saw. Reading books is one of the most successful ways to sharpen your saw. This is because books contain the knowledge required to be more effective and efficient in anything you wish. This will keep you relevant and promote you. Reading will also give you wisdom over time, make you have content in conversations, and give you knowledge to give back to the community. It's more beneficial to read books pertaining to your line of expertise because you read with understanding and experience. Remember that reading isn't happy being single. It's happier in a balanced relationship with action. This has been a summary of the book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.